For my intervention project, I was inspired by my observations of the Weld County community. I live in Larimer County currently, but I was raised in Weld County for most of my life. My parents currently live in Pierce, but I grew up in Johnstown, right in the heart of Weld County. The past few weeks, I have been house sitting in Pierce for my parents and noticed this sign right outside the fence of Highland Elementary School, which is right across the street from where they live. We're investing in our natural gas infrastructure from the ground up, placed there by Atmos Energy. This did not sit well with me. Why was this being advertised in front of an elementary school? Who was their target audience? This was the beginning of my research. Fracking was not new to me. Growing up in Weld County, this was an environmental topic that was heavily discussed within our community. To those who might not be familiar, fracking is the process of drilling down into the earth before a high-pressure water mixture is directed at the rock to release the natural gas inside. Water, sand, and chemicals are injected into the rock at high pressure, which allows the gas to flow out to the head of the well. The term fracking refers to how the rock is fractured apart by the high-pressure mixture. According to Weld County government's website, Weld County is the #1 producer of oil and gas in the state. 87% of all crude oil production and 45% of all natural gas production in Colorado comes from Weld County. That is a staggering number, especially for someone who grew up in Weld County. In a 2018 article by the New York Times, they said, while oil and gas companies have long operated in Colorado, they flooded the region in the 2000s as increased use of hydraulic fracturing, or fracking, unlocked possibilities. By 2013, communities along the Front Range were pushing for control of their own backyards, enacting laws that tried to curb fracking near homes and playgrounds. Fracking is highly controversial. As hinted at in the last quote, there is a huge environmental concern around the effects of fracking, especially being so close to suburban areas. Some key issues are the effects on air quality and health, greenhouse gas leaks, methane and fugitive emissions, the contamination of drinking water, infrastructure, resources and communities, and seismic worries, just to list a few. According to a 2018 BBC article, they said, the extensive use of fracking in the U.S., where it has revolutionized the energy industry, has prompted environmental concerns. Fracking uses huge amounts of water, which must be transported to the site at significant environmental cost. As well as earth tremor concerns, environmentalists say potential carcinogenic chemicals may escape during drilling and contaminate groundwater around the fracking site. The industry suggests pollution incidents are the results of bad practice rather than an inherently risky technique. Campaigners say fracking is distracting energy firms and governments from investing in renewable sources of energy and encouraging continued reliance on fossil fuels. I realized after my research that I wanted to call attention to the contamination of drinking water. After seeing the natural gas sign by the elementary school, I knew I wanted to comment on the proximity of this dangerous process to children in our community. I started to research water sculptures on Google and found this 3D printed piece by Chad Knight titled Ancient Light. You can see here that I took the concept of a head and applied that to a child drinking water. I wanted the water to flow out just before the mouth as if it were being wasted and the child was losing all the nutrients. I began my process using foam, air-dried clay, yarn, hot glue, and not seen in the picture, wire and aluminum foil to create an armature of the hand. I started to apply clay to the head and the armature. To create the water, I cut the bottom off the water bottle and started to hot glue pieces of yarn to the base. Once I pulled the yarn through the mouth of the water bottle, my hope was that it would create the illusion of water pouring out of the bottle. You can see I had some trouble with the hot glue being too hot and melting the plastic of the water bottle. There's always something that goes wrong, but that's just part of the process. Finally, I took my piece to an elementary school playground and staged it. My plan was to take pictures of the sculpture at Highland Elementary, but I was not able to finish my piece in time to take it there. Regardless, here is my piece documented once it's been installed.